Hey friends, Shay here. So we're here to kind of wrap up my reading for the month of April. This is a very late video coming to you. I'm very sorry about that, but I went down a deep rabbit hole of video games lately. If you want me to do a video about the video games I've been playing or anything like that, let me know down below. But that is why you haven't been seeing me making as much content, because between work and playing the video games and spending time with spouse, there hasn't been as much time for reading and filming and all that kind of stuff. So let's get back in the swing of things. Let's talk about what I read in April. So first up, I have a couple of videos where I talk about a good chunk of what I've read. So there are 6 books contained in the Cowboy romance video, where I actually do a quick trip down to Vegas as well. So I will refer you to that, as well as the video in which I read the next installment in the Spellmonger series. Again, that will be linked in the corner above. That one is Enchanter. Enchanter was a 5 stars, and everything in the Cowboy video has a star rating attached to it. I have even like a graphic of it by the end. So go ahead and check out those videos for information on that. There are 6 other books that I read, so let's talk about them in this video. The first 2 are tied to my March reading wrap-up. I went down a Kristen Ashley rabbit hole. Technically, 4 of these books are Kristen Ashley books. So let's just dive into them. The first 2 are connected to the Chaos MC series that I read in March. So the first one is Still Standing, and then the second one is Smoke and Steel. These are they're in a series in and of themselves. And again, they're following motorcycle clubs, and they're connected to Chaos, but they are not Chaos, if that makes sense. So one is an MC that we meet in the Chaos series, and someone in the Chaos series sister. And then the other one is, I believe, another family member of a Chaos member and a group from another state. So they're really fun. I really enjoy them. These are 4 stars. Neither of them blew me out of the water, but honestly, I just get down with them. They're really kind of like turn off your brain easy reads for me, so I really like to dig into those every so often, and I end up really enjoying myself. Again, these are going to have very alpha males and a lot of the tropes that are related to MCs, so if you're not into that dynamic, definitely don't pick these up. But I end up enjoying them for what they are. They're not perfect reads to me, but it's still a good time. This is definitely not my favorite series by Kristen Ashley by any means. Right now it's still her Colorado Rockies series, the one with the gamble. That series is still my favorite at this point. Next, I read my early copy of Do Me a Favor by Kathy Yardley. Me and my friends all kind of got together and read this one that were approved for the ARC. And with this one, it's a solid 5-star for me. It's not a new 6-star favorite. I do think role-playing is a better book overall, at least for me. I do like that this involved older characters, but we are heavily dealing with grief in this one. Grief is a huge thread through the entire thing, so just go in prepared for a heavy grief plot. Her husband has passed away. She's kind of grieving the end of that. She lost him fairly young, but, you know, he also wasn't perfect, and she overlooked a lot of his behavior because he had a terminal illness, and he knew that, and he just thought he'd live his life to the best rather than take care of himself. And that kind of has some consequences, not only for her, but it took his life even earlier than it could have. So there's that. And then our hero is a single dad who really is a good guy. He kind of has a little bit of like that golden retriever energy. And to counteract all of the heaviness of her grief, that worked well for me in the dynamic. And again, this is a fantastic book. If you haven't read role-playing, but you're interested in Kathy Yardley, I don't think this is a bad place to start. It's not directly connected to role-playing as far as I could tell. But yeah, I highly enjoyed this. Again, I still like role-playing a little bit better, so that is going to be my 6-star favorite. Do Me a Favor is still a solid 5. I had a great time. And Kathy Yardley's writing and the fact that she always has deeper topics going on within her novels is something I really appreciate about her writing. Next, we have a Kristen Ashley that did not work so well for me, and that is Perfect Together. I gave this 3 stars. This one is basically a marriage in trouble situation. Technically, they're divorced in the beginning of the novel, but it's one of those things where there were outside circumstances that led to the divorce. And once he's the one who asked for the divorce, and once he kind of wakes up to what he's done, he really does try to make it right. Does he do this the right way? In my opinion, no. But I have definitely read worse marriage in trouble books. I think this was fine for what it was, but it's not a Kristen Ashley you're probably ever going to hear me talk about again. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't DNF it. It didn't offend me greatly. After finishing it, I did go and read some of the more like 1 and 2 star reviews, and I don't disagree with what they were saying. A lot of that was present and was there, but it just didn't bother me as much as it did them, I guess. But I also went in knowing that this one wasn't one of her best, so I just went in with my eyes open to it, and I didn't have my expectations very high. The next one was much better for me, another 4-star, and that is Too Good to Be True, again by Kristen Ashley. This one is bonkers and banana pants and over the top, but that's exactly what it's supposed to be. And if you go in expecting this to be a serious thing, you're not gonna enjoy yourself. Like, this is over the top dramatics, like mystery thriller suspense almost kind of to it. And, you know, I feel like it's breaking that fourth wall sometimes where you're just like, wait, what? And again, not anything that, you know, you'll probably hear me talk about too much on the channel, honestly. But it's one that I had a good time with, and I think it's definitely worth reading if you're interested in it. Essentially, we have this girl who her sister has gotten engaged to this guy. It feels fishy to her. She shows up at the house. It's all based in Britain. And she starts falling in love with the older brother, who is the one set to inherit the property. But there are mythical things at bay, is all I'll say. And certain prophecies and hints and things. And again, don't take it too seriously. It's just fun shenanigans. And again, it was a good audiobook reading time. It was a great way for me to kind of have something fun to listen to while turning off my brain a little bit. And that worked really well for me in the month of April. The last one that I have to talk to you about here is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is a 5-star read for me. This is my highest rated Abby Jimenez at this point. And I had a fantastic time with this one. I have heard that there are nods to 2 others of her novels that I haven't read yet, but I do intend to read soon, which is Part of Your World and Yours Truly. I really liked the whole bonkers setup of they both have the problem where after they break up with someone, the person they date after that, like the person that broke up with them or they broke up with, like they find their soulmate. And so they have the whole thing where they decide to date each other so that they can find their soulmates. But of course they find it in each other. And there's a lot more going on here. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm glad I went in kind of blind to this one. And I highly recommend going in that way. Like, what you know is all I knew going in. And I'm glad I did it that way because it made me enjoy the little things that Abby wove through the story and the heavier topics that we're discussing. Like, that worked so much better for me because of that. So I highly recommend doing that. But again, highly recommend 5 stars. No 6 stars for April. I'm a little sad about that. But anyways, I still think it was a great reading month. I did have a total of 3 5 stars. So Enchanter by Terry Mancour, Do Me a Favor, and Just for the Summer. So I did have 3 5 stars, so it wasn't a huge bust or anything, but I had a great time. I would definitely recommend those 3 5 stars. I would recommend the Spellmonger series to anyone who's interested in a high epic fantasy. There are some things to be aware of. Feel free to watch my videos. They're pretty spoiler-free, especially that first one, so you can definitely go into that and learn a little bit about the series. And it was a series my husband recommended. I'm almost finished with the 8th book now, so you'll be getting a video about that one relatively soon. And my next video is going to be one I think y'all are going to enjoy. So thank you so much for checking out this video. If you are here just because you love me, leave me a cherry blossom emoji for spring and for the month of April, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
It's been raining for days now, been running like a child. Can't feel the cold, well I'm lost here with you, lost in the woods. Lost as I should.